All right, let's talk about one of the most mysterious times in a person's life, middle school. It's just this whirlwind of change, right? And for parents, for educators, it can feel like you're just fumbling around in the dark. But what if there was a map?
I want you to think back for just a second. What was the absolute hardest part of middle school for you? Was it the braces? The awkwardness? Yeah, we've all got those stories. But here's the thing. The actual day-to-day struggles for kids right now, they might be completely different than what we remember. And we wanted to find out what's really going on.
And to do that, we got access to something really unique. We dove deep into confidential advisor notes from an actual middle school. I mean, this is a real peek behind the curtain, you know? This is what teachers are actually seeing, what they're talking about when it comes to student struggles year by year. So yeah, let's dive in.
First up, 6th grade. Just picture it. You go from one teacher in one classroom to suddenly having like 6 different classes, a locker you can't open, and just so much more stuff. And the big theme here isn't really about being smart enough, it's just about learning to juggle like a dozen new things at once.
And when you look at the data, wow, it is so incredibly clear. Just look at that top category, executive function. 14 mentions. It's not even close. The biggest struggle isn't figuring out the math problems. It's just remembering to bring the math book home. It all comes down to basic, nuts and bolts, organization and planning.
So what even is executive function? Well, think of it like the CEO of your brain. It's the part that's supposed to manage your schedule, organize all your projects, and help you focus. The thing is, in 6th grade, that CEO is basically a brand new intern. You know, they're super enthusiastic, but they're still learning where the coffee machine is, and they get overwhelmed easily. So how do you train that new CEO? The school found this really powerful but simple solution, the Sunday Prep Mandate. And this is not about doing more homework on the weekend. Not at all. It's about building a simple, predictable routine to just start the week off right. Check the portal, make an actual handwritten list, pack your bag. It creates a system that just kills that Monday morning chaos before it even starts.
Okay, so they kind of get the hang of juggling all their stuff in 6th grade. And then 7th grade happens. The challenges totally evolve. This time, the pressure isn't coming from a forgotten homework assignment. Nope, it's coming from inside.
And you can see this dramatic shift right here in the data. The number one issue is now metacognition, which is really just a fancy way of saying that kids are suddenly realizing, wait a minute, I don't actually know how to study for a test. And right behind that, test anxiety and procrastination. The struggle literally shifts from, where's my homework, to, I'm staring at my homework and I'm just too stressed to even start.
And this one advisor note just illustrates the connection perfectly. For 2 students, it says their social-emotional needs were directly getting in the way of their focus. They were feeling lonely, and because of that, they couldn't concentrate or build better habits. It's this powerful reminder that a 7th grader's emotional world and their schoolwork are completely intertwined.
These advisor notes also act as a really critical early warning system. In one situation, a student was flagged for behaviors that looked a lot like ADHD. Because the advisor caught it, the school could recommend a proper evaluation for a learning plan. This is how a student gets the specific support they need, which goes way beyond just a few study tips.
So how do you help a kid manage all this new internal pressure? The school came up with what they call the proactive plan. Instead of just reacting to a crisis, it teaches students to look at their calendar, spot those red flag weeks, you know, the week with the big soccer tournament and a history paper due, and then email their teachers before things get out of hand. It's a genuine life skill in managing your own stress.
And this leads us to the next big evolution on this journey. If 7th grade is all about managing that internal world of stress, 8th grade is when the focus completely flips. Now, it's all about managing the external world of social pressure.
8th grade. Welcome to the final boss of middle school. By now, students have pretty much figured out the organization thing. They've developed some study skills. The new test is, can they actually use any of those skills when their friends are sitting right there next to them? This chart basically says it all, doesn't it? The single biggest theme from the 8th grade notes is peer distraction. It is the number one driver of everything, incomplete work, not paying attention, you name it. That desire to be social just becomes so powerful it can steamroll everything else. And you can almost feel the teacher's exhaustion in the words they use. The notes are filled with these amazing descriptions of students being squirrely, getting into shenanigans, or just being too chatty. It's not that they lack the ability to do the work, it's just that the social dynamics in the room are the only thing they can focus on.
And in some cases, this was more than just a little chatter. The notes actually showed a pattern of escalating social disruption, kids really testing boundaries, and it got to the point where the faculty had to coordinate a plan just to supervise their free time. So the key here is that this isn't a small thing. It can become a real barrier to learning for the entire class.
So to fight back against this, the school started something called the Independence Challenge. You might know it as Try 3 Before Me. And the idea is brilliant. Before a student can ask the teacher for help, they have to try 3 other things first. Ask a classmate, look at your notes, try one more strategy. It forces them to become active problem solvers instead of just passively waiting for the answer.
So when you step back and look at this whole 3-year journey, what does it all tell us? Well, a really clear developmental map starts to emerge, showing exactly how the challenges of a middle schooler change and grow over time.
Here it is, the whole map in a nutshell. 6th grade is about managing things, 7th grade is about managing feelings, and 8th grade is about managing friends. And that's the real takeaway here. The problem, and therefore the solution, is different every single year. The checklist that works wonders for a 6th grader is going to do absolutely nothing for an 8th grader's social distraction.
And that leaves us with one last really important question. It's not just about our kids evolving, it's about us. As their challenges shift from the backpack to their own brain to their social circle, how do we make sure our support, our guidance, and our parenting evolve right along with them?